What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate, reverse ranch, no hate. Salute to Inoue and to Fulton. This is a fight I've been waiting to do a video on, but I had things I had to take care of that was just far more important. Life is good, and now I'm here. So this was a fight where Inoue went in as the favorite for several reasons. Um, and one of the things I knew was a lot of people now boxing fans, okay, that watch boxing and pretty much watch as much as they can, because they're watching boxing, not just the boxers, okay, to be fanboys. A lot of people was just repeating what they heard but didn't know much about it anyway. Okay, and I can tell just by their comments and things that they would say and questions and things that you see all over different channels and all over social media. So you just have people saying things just because. I've read comments of people saying, "Oh, I don't know him, but he's my countryman." Stuff like that. So I'm rooting for him. Okay, so if it said, okay, so you're rooting for him because you're both the same nationality, but you don't even know if he can fight, whatever. So if someone says, well, they're rooting for him because of that, why do you say that? Well, because that's what people are saying. Okay, now things like that. But bottom line, here was my thing. Okay, how I felt, my take on it. People were saying Fulton doesn't have the punching power to hurt him. It's not about that. And it's not so much that Fulton doesn't have punching power. Okay, punch placement is everything. Timing, everything. Good boxers are not necessarily master class boxers. There's levels to greatness. Okay. And Inoue showed that against Fulton. My thing was people are underestimating Fulton's power. It wasn't his power. It's the point of him understanding how to get the shots there, having the confidence to get it there. Inoue's style, I'm not focused on Fulton saying he's going to completely outclass Inoue and he's all around just a better fighter. My thing was you guys are focusing on his power, man. You sleep on this bitch. It's not the power, it's the skill. My thing was skill for skill. I think Inoue's better. But like I'm saying, if this is a fight where Fulton may come out and may be better in this fight than he was before, it takes the fight to happen for us to know it. We can go in there feeling like, nah, Inoue got this. We can feel like that about any fighter. I don't care about predictions. I'm not trying to be the Mr. Oh, I want to tell y'all who's going to beat who. And I don't know what's going to happen in these fights. I can tell you who I think is going to win, and that's that. Which is why you never hear me debate when someone says this person is going to beat this person. Okay. They just might. So my thing is, Inoue went in there, okay? And he had fights where I've never seen a fight where I felt like Inoue looked bad. People look at, like, if you look at the Nito Donaire fight, and I don't feel like he was exposed. People love to use that word, a fighter was exposed. No, you were in a tough fight with the guy, and you won. They looked at Inoue and they looked at, Nito Donaire's age, and that's the thing. You can't dictate when somebody's time is up. It's up to the fighter. And if they still have it, they still have it. Nito Donaire was written off and came back and won a championship. So, at 38 years old. So, to say, oh, but he did this and that. This is not about defending Fulton and it's not about defending Inoue. For me, it's about looking at what each fighter brings to the table and then just giving my assessment on the fight itself. But I can't tell you who's actually going to win. Things happen. Okay. Now, people can go into the ring and get injured or come into the ring with an injury and can lose because of that thing, right? Now, take all that aside. There's no need to worry about questioning or wondering. We now know, okay? Fulton, as good as he is, Inoue is on a whole different level. So when you guys that are saying Fulton is overrated, Inoue showed that, what you're saying is he's overrated because Inoue is not that good. Because you understand what I mean? So if you're going to shoot down Fulton, then what does it matter what Inoue did? How can you celebrate what Inoue did if he beat a guy that was overrated? You understand? No, he's not overrated. Inoue is just that much better. It's as simple as that. Look, he shut Fulton down. Fulton was on the back foot for like the first half of the fight. And every time he went back, as he's going back, he's, going from side to side. He was using good defense. But Inoue was making him uncomfortable. He's letting him know, I'm here. You better be careful. You better have those hands up because I'm going to sneak shots in. I'm going to walk you down. I'm here all night. And basically, Fulton was showing patience. He was, trying to find his way in, but he couldn't. He was reluctant. Now he starts to try to come forward. Okay, you have to try something different, right? But every time he got close, when he got in the pocket, he wouldn't let his hands go. So Inoue is now aware, okay, he's scared of what's going to come back. He's trying to be careful and not get hit. But my hands is too fast for him to counter me. So every time he gets in close, I'm going to make him uncomfortable. And he was throwing. So if you're in the pocket, just to end up going backwards, you have to keep resetting. And you never establish any type of offense. So if you can't land anything, he's frustrated now. Like, what do I do? Okay. This is why you always see so often fighters, they go through the same thing, right? That Fulton was doing. And if they make it to the final bell, what do they do in the last round? They start to let it hang out. And what's the first thing that the commentators and the fans say? Man, you should have been doing this since round one, right? So Inoue showed it didn't matter the distance, the range. He was killing him with that up jab. He kept leaning in, head movement, and Fulton's trying to get set, up jab. I mean, he was killing him with that up jab. So effective with that. And he basically dominated. It didn't matter mid-range, close range, long range. Inoue was just better than Fulton in every department. Boxing IQ, speed, power, confidence. Because Fulton showed confidence. He was poised, he was there. But you can see, little by little, it's like he never could figure out how to get in. Okay, so his confidence wasn't where Inoue's was, or he would have been taking the same type of chances. But he realized that being in there, watching the fight and being in there is different. So what he thought he was going to be able to do, Inoue took it away from him. And it's just as simple as that, man, that Inoue is just the better fighter. The guy is just that much better than Fulton. You saying that Fulton is overrated, he's a bum, again, then you can't celebrate. It's completely idiotic that you're celebrating a fighter that just beat a bum when he was supposed to beat a bum. So why are you guys calling Fulton a bum? He's no bum. Inoue is just that much better. It's just as simple as that. So I salute both guys. I do not know what's next. I'm not entertaining this nonsense about Inoue versus Tank Davis. Okay, this man is fighting at 122 now. He goes up. Are you going to skip past 126 and go straight to 135? I mean, you got people putting videos up talking about Tank Davis and Terrence Crawford fighting, send the contract. Now all of a sudden, you're seeing the same thing. Tank Davis versus, and it's like, look, people, whatever, man. Oh, Inoue would beat him. This would happen. That will happen. And it's all just this whole, let's just start a conversation. One person make a video about Inoue versus Tank Davis. 50 more channels are going to copy that. And then everybody's making the same thing. I'm not. This is why I mentioned it in this video, that I'm not entertaining that. If that's something that comes into fruition, then it happens. Okay? At the end of the day, when a guy goes up in weight, and here's the deal. Okay? So let me just say this right now, because there's some things I've read and saw, and it's like the hypocrisy is always there. You cannot sit here, okay? You cannot sit here and marvel that Inoue came up in weight to fight Fulton, destroyed him like he did, okay? Just to turn around and say Inoue will beat Tank Davis, but if he goes up and that fight actually happens and Tank wins, to say, oh, Tank was just too big. Tank fought the... No, I don't care to see Tank versus Inoue. I want to see Tank versus Devin Haney or Shakur Stevenson. Fight the people in, your weight class. All of this whole, oh, this guy just did this, so I want, is everybody just, it's this fantasy stuff. This is not video games, man. This is real life. You know, fight who you're going to fight in your weight class. This circus show is part of the reason why, these videos that, you just see videos, people are trying to get subscribers, they're trying to get the likes up and all of this. And, I'm not willing to talk about just anything just to get likes. It really, this is boxing content, man. I'm not with this rumor mill. I'm not with this whole let's just make the video because everybody else is doing it. That's just not me. I'm not thirsty, and I'm not sitting up here trying to give you guys bull crap just to get subscribers and views. That's not who I am. So I'm not entertaining that. I agree with Bob Arum. It's just a stupid fight. It's really a stupid fight. And like I told you guys, I don't think Inoue coming up in weight to fight Stephen Fulton is he's at any big risk, because he's naturally the smaller guy. Because even as a smaller guy, he's a harder puncher. He's stronger than Fulton. He's faster. He has everything over Fulton. Okay? Fulton's a good fighter, but Inoue is just better. It's not like, it would be one thing if Fulton had like devastating power or something and was like naturally a big guy. He's a skinny dude. So it's not like he's some raw bone big dude that's cutting 20 pounds, 20, 25 pounds to come down to a weight class like a lot of these other guys. So, and the fact that you guys are saying that he can't punch is like, well, why are you talking about he's naturally the bigger guy, as if that's going to be a factor? I didn't think the punching power was going to have anything to do with it as far as Fulton. My thing was him being able to land the shots, okay, and consistently fight to where he's able to make it clear that he's winning this fight. I don't think anybody without bias really thought Fulton was just that good that he was going to keep Inoue on the outside and just frustrate him and he can't get to him. No, I felt like this is going to be a fight where Fulton is going to have to stay long, but he's going to have to find a way to land shots and make it count. He's going to have to snap Inoue's head back. He's going to have to make these, swell his face up and all that and let the judges see, hey, look, I'm here. So now, let's say Inoue is better now than he was when he fought against Nito Donaire. But it just goes to show you how good Donaire was. See, and that's my thing. People were sleeping on Donaire. And these are the same people that always say, styles make fights, but they seem to forget that when fighters are matched up. It's easy to say one thing. We just saw Anthony Joshua versus Hellenius, right? Didn't it look weird? Because you're usually seeing Anthony Joshua being taller and bigger than everybody, but you could see the size difference, the height difference, the reach, the length. Like, damn, AJ don't even look 6'6" standing there against Hellenius. Hellenius, they say he's 6'8", right? Long, rangy, long, tall, and you could see the difference. So, AJ went there and fought a guy much longer, much bigger, right? So it's a different fight. So you have to make adjustments, how you have to make them, not based on what the fans think. The fighter has to be able to do and make these adjustments and understand what's going on and feel comfortable doing it. Not, oh, he didn't do it, he's a bum. And I know people that think like that are casuals, don't know nothing. They don't know anything about boxing. They never had a fight, never been in a boxing ring. They don't know. They don't train, they don't do anything. And if they do, they're just being biased, and it's just immaturity. Because if you think that a guy is going to win just because you want him to win, and then because you imagine him fighting a certain way, no, that's you're living in la la land. That fighter has to feel comfortable that he can do that. Not just, well, I'm just going to close my eyes and try. No, they have to. That's when you're training and working on things. Each fight is different. Each fighter is different. That's why you have fights where first fight was a classic, second fight ended in a KO. First fight was a dud, rematch happened to be good. Things just happen. So, yeah, Inoue did what he had to do, man, and he's a solid fighter. I think everybody knew that. In fact, I was one of the first American. Let's say it like it is. I was one of, because you want to know how I know? I was one of the first. Okay, I was one of the first black content creators talking about Inoue. And you know how I know? Because when I looked all over to see what's going on in boxing, I didn't see none of these people talking about Inoue. And when I made a video on him, it's funny how the following week, or like maybe 3 days later, all of a sudden, everybody's talking about Inoue. Yeah, But I'm just saying, just saying. So no, I'm no stranger to who he is. Anybody who's seen Inoue fight knew that dude is special. He's not some ordinary, So my thing is, we get so caught up into this jumping weight classes. Now all of a sudden you beat him. Oh, super fight him versus this guy. One fight at a time. And honestly, I don't see the point. I mean, if it happened, then it happened. But what's the point in him jumping to go all the way up to 135? And there's still work to be done. Now, if it gets to a point where there's nobody there, now he feels comfortable going to 135, so be it. But I would still, look, you have a job to do. And in terms of legacy, and there's no reason you can't fight Haney, but you can fight Inoue. Okay? These guys are still at 135. They had guys left 135 and went up to 140. And so these are fights that haven't happened. And if they do, it's going to be at a later time when other fighters decide to go up to 140, if that happens. And in the meantime, it's like we forget that all of these fights that were supposed to happen, or that they talk up and jump online, talking about send the contract, but then nothing happens. Well, you look and you think, why are we entertaining people talking about fighting guys that's not even in their weight class? Like that is not even, it makes no sense to me. So I don't care about Gervonta Tank Davis saying he'll knock out Terrence Crawford and people that don't like him getting mad or whatever it may. I don't care. I don't care to see him fight Terrence Crawford. And to hear Terrence Crawford say, if he said, okay, because people do post things that's false. If he said, send the contract, let's make it happen, come to 147. Listen, Jermell Charlo was getting ready to fight Canelo. Okay? Terrence Crawford is calling out Jermell Charlo. He was calling out Jermell Charlo before, the offer from Canelo. But who do you think Jermell is going to fight? What you think is going to be the bigger check, right? So at the end of the day, then, you see, oh, Crawford says he has no interest in fighting Canelo. Then all of a sudden you see videos, oh, Crawford says send the contract. Like, okay, so wait, what are they going to jump in the ring and have a Royal Rumble? No, one fight at a time. This is the type of circus nonsense I'm talking about. It's one thing if somebody says who you think would win if this guy fought this guy. We talking about fantasy fights. No, this is not what's happening. This is a bunch of nonsense. He said, she said, soap opera nonsense. No, we don't need to see Terrence Crawford versus Tank Davis. We don't need to see Inoue versus Tank Davis. Okay? We need to have the fights that's supposed to happen. And the only reason why all this reaching for stuff happens is because the things that's supposed to aren't. So you can't support stupidity, but then expect something better to happen. So we'll see what happens and see how things go. But I think that for me, at least for me, I know if I'm in whatever weight class I'm in, whoever, okay, is in that weight class with me, that's elite, I want to wipe out that division. So now, if somebody's talking about coming up, or I need to go up or go down or whatever it may be, I did my job. I did my diligence. I didn't sit back and let me just go after the check. Let me try to avoid the guys that I know I should be fighting because, look, Nate Diaz just got the biggest payday of his life fighting Jake Paul. You got fighters that will destroy Jake Paul, that are real fighters. They're not making close to what Nate Diaz just made. Nate Diaz can't make that in the UFC. And there's a huge lawsuit that may be in effect against the UFC with how they pay their fighters and that they've been holding out and buying out smaller companies to make it difficult where these guys can't go and fight outside of UFC to make their money. And a whole lot of other nonsense that's going on. So there's a lot of things going on that's wrong. It's foul and corrupt. So when you look at these fighters and you think, well, damn, this is a guy that was strictly MMA. He goes and fights a guy that's not even an actual, real, legit boxer, not even no real skill and experience, just an up-and-coming novice guy that basically is known from having a YouTube channel, but he's in there fighting guys that's not real boxers. But he's a huge draw. And this guy got paid 7 figures for that. They said 8 figures. No, he didn't get $1 billion. So he wanted, basically he got a nice big check for that. Okay? Nice big check for that. So, just saying, this is what boxing is becoming. I guarantee you, Terrence Crawford didn't just make that in his last fight. And you think Jake is a better fighter than Terrence Crawford? Not even close. So, just saying, y'all, we got to stop all this nonsense, just putting two fighters in the ring and then it should happen. And then if it doesn't, this guy's ducking because of. Listen, Tank Davis and Inoue, Terrence Crawford, these guys are not even in the same class. The same way people were saying Canelo dare to be great when he goes up in weight, say the same thing about Jamal Charlo. Jamal Charlo is going through some personal things, a lot of nonsense. He's just not ready to get back in the ring, and this is damaging to his career. It could be the end of his career for all we know. I don't know if he's training, his mental state. We've seen him break down and cry in interviews. He's going through things, personal things, and so Jamal Charlo is going up 2 weight classes to fight against Canelo. Win, lose, or draw, the same way y'all say Canelo was daring to be great, even when we know there's other things in those details that people fail to point out, say the same thing for Jamal Charlo. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Calling people names out, slapping people, insulting people, grabbing people for all this, not that. None of that stuff has nothing to do with what you're going to do in the ring. Now, personally, I feel like because Jamal Charlo is at 160 and he's saying, but I never fought at 168, and and he's talking to Demetrius Andre, explaining that and saying, fight at the catch weight. Jamal, like, man, the hell with all that. I'm going straight to 168. Why can't Jamal do the same thing? So even what he's going through, or whatever's happening, or whatever it may be, or whatever the actual reason is he's not in, all I know is a bunch of nonsense that goes on, and people go through stuff and their mind is not there. But Jamal is the one stepping up to take the fight. And Jamal hasn't been in the ring in a while either. So both of them have been inactive. Both of them. Now here's a guy jumping up 2 weight classes. So we'll see how things go. But keep things in its proper perspective. And the fights that should happen need to happen. Talk to me in the comment section. Never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people. And I will catch y'all in the next video.